I don't know.
Yep, broadcast is live.
All right. Hey guys, I'm here tonight with Michelle Edwards. She's a multi-genre author. She's got a lot of fantasy and romance and military and a couple of series. So we've got a lot to talk about tonight. And I want to start with just, hey Michelle, let's
Hey.
dive in and tell us a little bit about what you're up to and what you like to write.
Um, so I started out really liking paranormal. And then I met my husband and I realized he was in the military and I was like, wow, I know nothing about it. So I started asking him a ton of questions and prying into his life that he didn't want me to pry into. Um, and I just started writing military as well. So now I have the fourth book of my paranormal series that's hopefully going to be done. And then I have some military ones that are coming out. My enlisted is coming out soon, and I'm super excited about that.
I am too. That cover too. I love that cover. That
Oh, me
cover
too.
is gorgeous. Yeah. Do you feel like it's brought you guys closer to write military, and be prying, or has it been a
Um,
tense thing?
I guess it's kind of been a little of both. Like, I feel like if he's mad at me, I can kind of break the ice by being like, "Oh, by the way, I have a question for you."
Oh, that's
Um,
smart. Yep.
which I do quite often, by the way. But like the other night, I was asking him a question. Actually, it was not the other night. It was like a month or so ago. I was asking him a really hard question. I'm like, I need you to go into details about when your friend died, and he's like,
Oh,
okay. And I'm like, if it's too much, I'll skip it and I'll just paraphrase. And he's like, no, you need it. I understand. So I really like that he understands that I need like the details, and he tries to explain everything in bits and pieces so I can type
mhm.
it. And then so it is kind of nice, but like I said, I mean, I don't know if it's really brought us closer. I think it's kind of a way for him to kind of see what I'm writing because he doesn't read anything I write
Ever?
ever. He's never read anything
It's
I've written.
not just okay. I thought maybe it was just with the
Mm-mm.
military.
Nope.
Do you
He
want
has
him to like the other stuff, or what?
um
How is that for you?
I kind of want him to because like some people are like, "Oh, my husband reads my stuff." And I'm like,
Right.
"Mine doesn't." Um but I understand like he's not a reader. It takes him like 20 minutes to read a page. So, I mean, it would probably take him a full year just to read one of my books. So,
What about audiobook? Because we could always audiobook something that you think
he
he'd be
would.
into, and like he would.
Yeah, he would do audiobooks. He drives every day. He drives all day long. All he does is listen to the radio.
All right, well, we could talk about that because that's I want him to at least one. I know that it can be like pulling teeth, but yeah,
Oh
it would
yeah.
be cool for him to be able to. All right, we have Laura with us. We have Facebook user with us. I'm not sure who that is, but hello. Um, we have John with us. So we do have people here, which is great. And I've got some questions for you, and I feel
Oh
kind
boy.
of bad. You're gonna be my guinea pig.
Okay.
I I'm sick of the same questions. Where it's time for new questions. So I've got some actually much different questions this time, and I think with you, a lot of your brand that you've been working on is built around traveling. Michelle's a travel agent, um, or at least was. I think Samantha should do the audio. That must be wow. I'm imagining that Shelby. I'm not sure, but um, and so I'm wondering how many places. I know you went to SAS, which is a big
Mhm.
signing that happens every year when there is no virus. But how many places have you gone that are related to books or writing, whether it's like a museum in some way related to writing, a setting, a place that you're going to write about, a book signing, um, any travel specific to books?
Um, so one of my enlisted books is about Fort Stewart, and we went there last May for a celebration of life. So I reference a lot of stuff from Fort Stewart in that book.
Hmm.
Um, I have a book coming out called Caribbean Lotus that's like way, way, way in the future.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that. That's a beautiful cover too. You've got some good
I
ones.
love that photo, and I took it in Grand Turk, and the story is going to be based in the Caribbean, which I've been to several different places. Um, I haven't been to many places that my books are, but I try to base them around like a lot of my books either I've been to or people I know have been to. A Warrior Soul that came out in 2018. Um, that one or 2019, one of them. Um, that one was actually based in California, where my husband's friend, who's a he's still well, he's like military police kind of now.
Right.
Um, he was stationed over there, so he was telling me like, like, oh, here's a secret spot that we go to, and I'm like, where is that place at? Um, so I haven't been to too many places, but I try to reference places that I have been to, or like little nodes of places that I've been to.
Hmm. Yeah, I think it's neat that when an author is able to take that. Plus, no matter where you go, if you incorporate that later into a book, it kind of like brings that trip or that adventure back, as
Hmm.
you're writing it. Like, oh, that time we went, in my case, it would be we did a big tour of the country for looking at colleges, but it got me to see states I never would have seen. And
Right.
they show up in my books, which is cool. Um, all right. So we talk about writer's block. Is that something that you get, or are you kind of all right in that way?
I do get it. I know, like, so this may sound really weird, but like when James and I argue like really bad, like if I get into like a really bad argument with him, like I really can't write. I just sit there and I stare at the page. Um, or sometimes if I'm just overly tired or I'm stressed out, I
Yeah.
can't get what I want out. And like I'll type something and I'll be like, this is crap, and I don't even know what I wrote. Like, so I do get it.
Yeah.
But what actually helps me really actually, and it's kind of weird, but I watch like TV shows, or like I'll watch like parts of like an episode that I remember that like inspired me in the past. So I'll watch that, or I'll
Mm,
listen to something, and I'll be like, oh, I have an idea. Let me go.
right.
So,
Right. That's cool. That's good. Do you have like a go-to place that will help jog that as well?
um, no, I mean, I do a lot of my writing in the living room because I'm
Hmm.
closer to the dogs. I'm closer to James. Um,
Yeah.
even if I can't hear him because I have my headphones in, I still know that like everybody is still right there. And then it makes it easier. Like if I have questions and stuff like that, like I can be like, oh yeah, hey. And I'm not like screaming through the two rooms or anything.
Right. Right. No, I get that. All right. Well, with you do a lot of reading,
Mhm.
at least of other authors that, are sort of in our same circles. Do you ever get reader's block? Do you ever say, you know what? I can't read. Like that happens to me a lot as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. It does. It happens like I'll buy I'll buy books on my ebook, or
Mhm.
I'll buy like paperback books, and I'll take them when we go on cruises. And I'll be like so
Right.
excited to read them. I cannot wait. And then I get on the ship and I'm like, I don't really feel like reading this. I need a different book. And
Yeah.
then I'm like, crap, I have to go all the way back to my room. Like, that's such a long walk. Like, do I have another book on here? No. So then I just get distracted.
So do you write that way as well by mood like that? Or are
Mhm.
you able to see? I'm the same way. I've always got a horror over here, a romance over here, a comedy over here because it really is based on my mood. When I'm
Mhm.
co-writing, I'm like, oh God, not today, please, not today. I can't be funny today. Or, I can't be dark today. Whatever the mood is can be a lot to juggle. Um, Shelby is here, Laura's saying, so that I figured it was her. All right, I'm gonna go to my 50 brilliant original questions, and I'm gonna pick a random one, and you are gonna be the guinea pig of this game I told you about. Let's see. Uh, I'm trying to find one that will kind of relate to you, Michelle, but maybe not. Okay, here's one. What author or authors, and you may not have one, I don't think I could play this game very well. Um, did you start off not liking? Like, but then grew to love them. Like, have you ever had an author where you're like, and I don't know about this, and then you read the book and you end up finding out, wow, this is like someone who's for me. Has that ever happened?
Yep, J.R. Ward.
There you go. Look at you. You didn't even blink, Michelle.
Nope.
Talk about good under pressure.
Because my sister told me to read these books by J.R. Ward, and I started reading it, and I was so bored, and I'm like, this is not what I want to read. And she's like, no, you have to finish, and I'm like, but I don't want to, and she's like, just finish it. So I did, and I love it. I love it so much. I actually have a tattoo from the book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let's see. I
Wow.
don't know if you can hold on a second. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah, 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 I sure do.
So, yep.
Wow, good for you. I don't know if I really I don't know. I usually have a really good sense of what I'm going into when I do it because I will read the back, kind of in the middle. I am so bad. I'll read the ending first. I'm one of those readers that you don't want to know what I do. It's not good.
I do. I
Um,
read the end of books first too sometimes.
oh, you do? I thought that was literally just. I'm like, that's Erin's dirty secret. We can never tell. I do. I don't know why. I think it's because when I read from the perspective of an author, and I like to see how did they get there.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times, depending on the genre, it's not with every genre. Romance, I wouldn't do that, but I also don't read a lot of romance. But I do like to watch how they laid it out because I learn as I'm reading. But that's just an Erin thing. Anyway, okay. Why don't you tell me what you're currently working on, and sort of how it's going for you right now?
So I'm finishing up Hell's Guardian, which is book
Mm-hmm.
4 in Honey in the Night series. It's the I kind of like I started the series with following like the one main character. The first 2 books were kind of about her. And then the third book actually followed like another couple, and then the fourth book is following somebody who you don't even meet till the second book.
Right.
But I'm really excited to finish this one. Like this idea came to me like a very long time ago, and I was gonna write a whole novel on it, but I couldn't find like the right characters for it. And then
Mm-hmm.
when I wrote the series, I was like, oh, these characters are perfect for what I want to do. So I get
Right.
to
Yeah.
incorporate my idea. There's also a side project that I'm working on, and it's not really a secret, but it's called Network Connection, which I
Mm-hmm.
think you remember the cover for.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm really excited about that one because what some people don't know is I'm a computer nerd. Um, I've been on computers since I was 4 years old, so I know so many different things about them that a lot of people don't know. Like my ex-husband took my whole computer apart and set it out on the kitchen table and was like, "Put this back together." And I'm like, "But can I just get on the computer and like play my stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah, when you put it all back together yourself." So I had to figure out
Was
how to.
this a mean thing or like a challenge?
It was more
What
like
was
a
this?
teaching thing.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that's why I'm kind of excited about network connection because I kind of get to pull parts of like what things that I know and what I've learned
Right.
back
Right.
into that.
I
So
see. Yeah. Wow. I you're the areas where you're good, I am like, someone help me, please. But I know how to go to Michelle. I didn't know you could do computers as well as Excel sheets. So there's another fun fact we've got. All right, I'm gonna go back to my sheet and okay, this is a good one. I like this one. How did publishing your first book change your process, or did it at all? Like
um
once you had gone from A to all the way to Z, did it change anything for how you were doing things?
it did and it didn't. I'm not as slow as I was before now. Like
Hmm.
when I would write like one book during Nano, and then I'd just be like, I'll write like a little bit here and there. But now I try to write every single day. You know, every day I'm writing something. And now I feel like I'm paying more attention to my characters, and I'm paying more attention to um certain things than I am to, than I was before. Before it was just, oh,
Right.
I'm just writing for Nano. And now I'm like, I'm writing every day, all the time. I have deadlines. I have my spreadsheet that I basically have with me everywhere. And I'm like, what comes out when? Like when there's like new books, I'm like, do I have space for this?
Right.
So
Oh yeah. It's part of the culture we've created too, Michelle. It's not all your fault. I don't know who would be responsible for that at all. Um, I think it's wow, and she's saying, "What? Read the end of books?" And yeah, at least I'm not alone on that. I thought that was an Erin thing. Um, what do you find the most challenging in the whole big picture of being an author, whether it's marketing or new story ideas, anything?
I think it's a tie between marketing and my self-doubt because I doubt myself so much. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I don't think people are going to like this. I don't think I like this. Do I like this? And like, I have to keep reminding myself, like, if it wasn't good, people wouldn't be promoting it. People wouldn't be reading it. People wouldn't be excited for it. I'm like, I have to keep reminding myself that, especially with you guys, I'm like, I know she's not going to let me publish crap. So I'm not worried about that. So,
I've had especially when Wanda edits. She has come to me and said, "You're not putting this book out with that logo on it. Go to the author and get these things changed." So it is actually true that we will pull a book gently and say, "Okay, this needs a major content edit, and here's where." So
mhm.
that hasn't happened to you that I'm aware of. I mean, I don't remember it. Um, so that's a great sign, Michelle. And I know that you came in with a lot of self doubt, but how many books are you on now? What are you
Oh my
on?
gosh.
Number?
I have let's see here. I have 3 in that series. Those 2 orange. So I'm 6 in of regular books. I have 3 on pre-order. Yeah.
It's like a bad habit. Everyone starts out so innocent and has no clue what is about to happen to their life.
Yep.
And then slowly it just builds up like dominoes. Oh, that's hilarious.
And I think there's
What
still
is your
2 more
favorite?
after that. Huh?
Yeah. What is your favorite, Michelle? As you're
My
drinking. Sorry.
yeah. My favorite book that I've done so far or
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
um probably Curse Legacy. I just love
Okay.
that book. I don't know. It's probably because I've written that book. I've tried to write that book 16 different times with 16 different people, and it has had bazillion different titles, and it's had different plot lines. And I mean, it's been one book, but it's been like completely changed from the very first draft that I ever did. But
Yeah.
that's my favorite so far.
Isn't that your first book? Your
Hmm.
absolute first? Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I thought. There's something special about a first book too. It's, sticks with you. Although mine, I need it to go away, but it won't ever stop haunting me. All right, I'm going back to my sheet, and then after this one, I'm gonna open it up to these guys and see what they've got
All
for
right.
you. Um, if you could tell your younger writing self anything, what would it be?
Um, Write faster, probably. Write faster or write more. Um, because I probably could have many more books now if I didn't trash a lot of my books. Like I have a book that nobody's read. It literally sits on my computer, sits in the background, hangs out there, looks pretty. I mean, the writing sucks and it needs a big overhaul, but it
Mhm.
just sits there. Like, if I would have written more and I would have actually like finished my stuff, then I probably would have more. So it would probably be write more, finish your work, finish the old novels.
Yeah, yeah, I have that too. I'm dusting them off right now and going, just focus. And if you just take like a week to literally read everything, see what you
Hmm.
have, and start cutting. And sometimes those big fat ones we've like hung on to and picked at for years can turn into a 3-book series.
Hmm.
So, it's something to think about. and maybe faster than starting from the beginning. I don't know.
Maybe.
If you guys have questions, you can start throwing them in the comments. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep rambling. As I see them, Michelle, I'm going to just interrupt myself and like shoot you questions. But
Okay.
you know, we might as well get them go. Oh, here we go. John, he is quick. He knows. If you could visit any country to research a story, where would you go?
Italy.
Any specific part?
I don't know the name of the town, but my cousins actually own a hotel in Italy. So I'd want to go there because I'd want to research where my family came from. So,
Neat.
yep.
I can't think of it because I'm not right. What is the place with all the gondolas? I mean, I wrote a whole book, The Gondola Poet.
Ah,
I
I
know
can't
this,
even
and I don't
remember.
know what. Venice.
There we go. Yep.
Okay, that's where I want to go. I think this is Shelby. I'm just guessing though. For a reader who hasn't read your books, this has got to be Shelby, and you want her to read your book. She's awesome reader. But for a reader who hasn't read your books yet, which one would you recommend?
For somebody who likes paranormal, I would say start with Cursed Legacy. But if you're not so much into paranormal and you want romance, I would say go with A Warrior Soul.
I think Wow does some paranormal. She's pretty open-minded reader. It really, with her, it seems like this is a guess. It's about characters.
Yeah.
Which one would you say has the stronger characters, Michelle?
I would say probably A Warrior Soul. Sadie and Logan have a lot of backstory. They have a lot of history. And their history actually basically is combined, but they didn't really know it. Well, they did, but they didn't. So
Right.
it's kind of cool to see how they see the life that they're in from both point of views. So, and that one's actually written in 2 point of views.
Oh, Hunt's got a question above Watson's. Sorry, I'm a horrible host lady. Hunt's off promoting free books worldwide. I'm just teasing. All right, Hunt, I'm looking for you. Oh, here we go. I found you. My question: what is one genre that you haven't written but would like to explore someday?
So horror is actually something that I am going to explore because I'm going to do a creatures feature. And I have to say I am kind of nervous because I'm going to have to write it during the day with the lights on, and I'm going to have to stop before it gets dark because my husband's not going to walk me to the bathroom in the middle of the night if I scare myself. But I would definitely like to do horror. I kind of want to try erotica, but I don't know if I could handle that. Like, I can read it fine, but I don't know if I could write it because my family reads my books.
Right.
Like,
try having your mother edit them. I'm like, I don't know why I wrote that. It must have been someone else.
I didn't do that. Yeah, I would feel kind of weird.
I did, but when you're at the point where I'm at, she doesn't even blink. She's just like, whatever, it's Erin. I mean, that poor woman. Think about it, sex dolls. She comes over here and they really are sex dolls. So she gets to a point where she's like, that's who she is. It's all right. Shelby, I think it's Shelby. Or Shelby, your new name is going to be Facebook user, but I think it's Shelby is saying she loves paranormal.
Then yeah, Cursed Legacy. I would definitely go with that. Unless you want to combine some paranormal and military, you got to wait until my Midnight Defenders come out, and that kind of combines the best of both worlds there. So,
yeah. I think Michelle, I'm not Michelle. Good job. I think Shelby, you will love her stuff, and I would say for a while, Cursed Legacy too.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. But maybe not. I haven't seen her read a lot of military romance. I would go with Cursed Legacy.
Yep, and then you get 4 books out of it.
There you go. Looks like we're getting more. Oh, love paranormal is Tara Lynn, but I agree. See, now they're helping each other, which is great. It's just I can't read who's who on this. Okay, let me go back to my sheet while they're thinking of other questions and see what I've got. Um, oh, here's a good one. What does literary success look like to you?
I want somebody, well, and this has kind of happened, but I really want somebody just to come up to me and be like, I really liked your stuff and I want all of your stuff. Like, I want your books. Like, um, I
That's
have
why
a
you need
friend,
wow in your life.
I have a friend who literally cleared off an entire bookshelf in her house and she's like, these are just for your books. Like, these are only for your books. And she started buying them and there's like 3 little books there, but she's like, I don't want any other books here but yours. And I think that probably is what it seems like to me, because that makes me feel like I actually did something good. Like, oh wow,
Yeah,
I wrote something that somebody obviously really likes.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm like that. Whenever Kat shows her errand shelves, I'm like, but at the same time, how can you not feel flattered? Of course you
Hmm.
feel flattered. So, but it is a little bit like that's a lot of pressure. Like what
Yeah.
how many errors? This is what I think. How many errors are there on that shelf? There's got to be 1,000 errors on that shelf, and they're all mine. But as an author, you look at it different than a reader who's like,
Yep.
look at the treasures, It's kind of funny. Okay. All
Cool.
right. Any more questions, guys? I have a question. I want to know about your rituals. Do you have any specific, like, I always see you with like a coffee or a thermos. Like, is there a specific routine you get into, or you just write when you can?
So one thing I have to do when I'm writing is I have to have earbuds in my ears. Even if there's
Okay.
no music coming out, I just have to have the earbuds in my ears. Um, like so when we go out and we get like stuff done, and if we have to like wait in a waiting room or something like that, I'll bring my Chromebook and I'll just plug in my earbuds and I'll just sit there and I'll
Right.
completely ignore everybody. But I do always have a drink with me. It's usually either tea or coffee. I can't drink wine while I'm writing because then I get super distracted and I'm like,
Yeah. I
I'm
can't
bored.
either.
Let me go do this. So um it's always tea or coffee. That's always what it is.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way. It's I've tried to write and drink. It
No.
doesn't work. No. But I can't even have the distraction of music. Just not a thing. I won't. No. Even editing. Nope. Reading, no music. It's awful, Michelle.
A
None.
lot of my books have their own playlists. Like I have specific playlists for just when I write paranormal, for when I
Hmm.
write my enlisted books. I have specific playlists just for those. And then I have like one long playlist that's just like a jumble of a whole bunch of different songs. If I just
Right.
don't know what the heck I want to listen to, I'm just like, let me just
Yeah.
play this. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's stuff you like. To me, I hear the lyrics and there's no way my words are going to come out right. So tell me about Rogue. I mean, she seems like someone who would have a shelf that's just for
um
Michelle. Have you guys been
so
friends now?
we've been friends for a few years now. We've met in person once when James and I were living in Florida.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
but she she used to write a lot of fan fiction. And I kept telling her, I'm like, you've got to write your own stuff. I'm like, write a novel. You can do this. And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, yes, you can. But she actually bought Cursed Legacy when it first came out. Actually, she bought a signed copy from me. Um, and she definitely makes she makes me feel like I'm like when like the other night when she was doing her video, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like,
Yeah,
she's like just straight
I know.
talking about me. I'm like, oh my gosh,
That's
I'm
how
like,
I feel when Kat gets on. I'm like, okay, Kat, there's other people. Do them.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, I'm like, I know you have other books. I'm like, can you like talk about something else for like 5 minutes, please? And I told
yeah,
my husband, I was like, I'm kind of embarrassed, and he's like, why? I was like, because I'm just too shy to be like out like that.
yeah, yeah.
And
But at
he's
the
like,
same time, it's so cool to have someone who feels that way
yes, it
about
is,
your
and
stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
So
I do. I do too. I think she's like seriously, she's your biggest fan. So I was like, that is awesome. And I was happy for you. Shelby, who is one of mine, that's always EL this, EL that, and I love it, is asking, when did you realize you wanted to be a writer?
So probably when I was like 10, my best friend and I used to write just little fan fictions in our notebooks. We had piles and piles and piles of notebooks, and then we had, tons of documents on our computers, of just fan fictions, and
Yep.
that's when we started. I mean, but I think it really started when we would sit in the back of like the bookstore and we'd be reading a book, and I'm like, this ending sucks. Like, I don't like this. And I'm
Yep.
like, I'm putting this away. And then I'm like, let me just write my own ending to this. And that's kind of how it started. Like, I used to write a lot of fan fiction as well. And then I was like, I'm like, I'm just going to make up my own people.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. With me, it was choose your own adventure. I was like, I don't like these choices.
yeah.
Terrible choices. I want different choices. So it made me want to write other endings, which I, of course, read ahead because, I'm a monster. Um, Ebony's saying she loves Rogue, which, I mean, I think what's not to love? She's just jumped right on in, and I was
Mm-hmm.
glad that, to see, because I think it's rough to come into somewhere like Crazy Inc. and you don't know anyone, and it would be easy to just be quietly in the background, but she just kind of dove in, which was good. And I
Yep.
know that you've helped with that, so that's been good to see.
Yeah, I've
All
been
right,
I've been trying.
I'm going back to my sheet here, Michelle. I'm going to see if I can get a wild question. These aren't as wild as I thought they'd be, but hey, All right, how do you select the names for your characters?
Well, first off, I have a spreadsheet now because I've been trying to keep all my characters straight.
Yeah,
Um, and two, I actually go online and like say like for my military ones, I go online and I just start looking up like unique unique names. Like,
right.
and I think I've run through most of the unique names and I'm like, I don't like these anymore. So then I start like going to like weird websites. I used to use a website and it had like thousands and thousands of names that just were there, but they had them in like English and in Hawaiian. So
Oh,
like
wow.
I would just like read through all the English ones and I'm like, do I like this? And I'm like, and it was like, I mean, it was just so many of them. That's how I used to pick them out, but I haven't used that website in a long time. I've just now just been going to unique names, finding all these like just out there names to try to come up with something.
Yeah, mix it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you find you have the same when you don't do that, the same go-to names over and over?
Yeah, I keep wanting to use Lily, and I definitely want to use Dean. And if anybody who knows that I love Supernatural, Dean is Dean and Castiel are my favorite characters, but I'm pretty confident if I start using the name Castiel around, people are gonna know what I'm talking about.
They're going to know what you're doing. Probably
So
too obvious.
yeah, so I use Dean. I try to not to use Dean as much, but I really want to go back to Dean all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I have names like that too, and Kat will go, "There's a connection," and I'm like, "I don't think there is on that one. I think Aaron's stuck on the same names, but you want to believe there's a connection, I guess that's fine." But yeah, sometimes it's not a connection. It's just literally Aaron's written too many darn books.
Hmm.
Um, what about Easter eggs, Michelle? Do you put any secrets or Easter eggs in your books? Is that little nuggets for people to find that are reading a lot of your books?
I don't think I've really done that yet. I kind of thought about it. Like as you've been doing these videos, I've been like, oh, like these are some really good ideas. Like I should start doing some of this stuff. Um,
Hmm.
I put in like like little landmarks, like little things that I guess a lot of my husband's military friends would understand. So
Yeah.
like they'll probably pick up on stuff. I try to use like a lot of their terminology, like just like little things that he'll tell me, like, oh, it's called this, like, or we always called it this. Things that normal people just wouldn't know to call something or say something. So I try to use stuff like that, but I haven't done anything else but those.
You seem to really rely on, and I love this, other people's experiences in order to be able to be authentic to whatever you're writing about. I know you have a motorcycle series coming.
Mhm.
and you've been talking to these bikers. Can you
Yep.
tell us about that? Because I always go wonder what Michelle's up to with these motorcycle guys.
So my friend Danny is in a motorcycle club in Florida, and they're all veterans, military veterans. So how it started was when I wanted to write about a motorcycle club, she's like, "Come down to the clubhouse and hang out with us." So when you're talking to people, and they're like, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "I'm going to the motorcycle clubhouse," and they're like, "What?" So, but it was really cool. Like the first time I went down there, I went down there with my laptop and I sat at the bar, had a drink in my hand, and different members would come up to me and they'd introduce themselves, tell me who they were, what their name was, what their position in the club was, and what they do for the club. So, like, they were very open about everything that they do. But I got a lot of their experiences, and a lot of time I was just sitting there listening to them talk about, do you remember this time when we were like, and I'm like, no, hold on, slow down, talk
Yeah,
slower. But
that's what it's like to be a therapist.
it was really cool. They actually invited me to a what they call a poker run, where they had
Mhm.
other clubs coming to their clubhouse. Um, and I guess because I'm a female, things are a little bit different because there's the 1% clubs that were there that don't treat females as people; they treat them as property. Yeah, so I learned a lot about how they treat them. And like my friend Danny would take me around and she introduced me to all these different clubs and she was like, "This is my friend Michelle. She's writing a book." And I'm like, "Huh?" But it was really
Behave.
cool.
Yeah.
It was so cool to see like how each club is different and how they all do things. Like they have to pull out in certain formations. They can't just pull out of a parking lot all willy-nilly. They have to
Wow.
wait. Yeah, like you have to wait for like the president to go first, and then like they have like a specific formation that they have to go in.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind
That's
of cool.
interesting. Yeah, that is neat. Because nobody just driving by would have any clue what's happening in
Right.
that parking lot. Wow, pretty cool. The little rituals and things people do. I like that. When does that series come out and what's that called?
That's called the Midnight Defender series. The first book, Battle Scarred, is supposed to come out in October.
Okay.
And that's more about the paranormal side than it is about the motorcycle side. The book after that will be more about the club stuff and about how the club handles things.
See, I can see WoW getting into this series for sure. This
It,
is this is an up her alley type of.
it's interesting. I'm so excited to write it. And I have a group on Facebook that has all these club members inside in it. So when I have questions, I just type up the questions and I'm like, hey, I need to know this, and they all answer.
Awesome. And it's cool that people are, I think a lot of people want their experience out in the world. And I
Mhm.
find that they will open up if you ask, which is
Yeah.
neat. Because, it's that whole, you got to write a story about my life. And everybody wants that. So it's
Yeah.
actually pretty easy to get. All right. If you had to give up one thing in the world to become a better writer, um, what, well, I'd say what would you give up, but that's dumb. What wouldn't you give up for writing? How would we do it that way?
I probably wouldn't give up my husband.
Well,
Only
yeah, I didn't mean people, Michelle. Oh my God, but all right, that's good. He's safe, even though he's not reading those books. Damn it.
um I probably wouldn't give up um well, probably definitely my earbuds because I have to have those. If I don't have those, there's no writing happening. Um, I can write on anything. I can write on my laptop. I can write on my Chromebook. So, you know, that wouldn't even be a big deal. But I need to have my earbuds. If I don't have those, then you might as well just take all my books off the list because
Fair enough.
gotta have them.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys, do we have any other questions? I've got Michelle giving up everything she owns for books, and in motorcycle clubs, but I love it, and I love having you at Crazy Inc. I think what a great addition. For those who don't know, I call Michelle Sunday because of Easy Like a Sunday Morning, and that's the name I have sort of nickname pegged her because she's just so easy to work with. And you have been from day one. I mean, it's just, I love it. Any questions, guys? Any thoughts? Michelle, you can sort of anything I've missed. Why don't you just hit us with it?
Well, I'm sure a lot of people, I don't know if they know, that you made me cry when you guys first accepted my book.
I'm evil, mean. I'm just teasing.
No, because it was the same day my grandmother died. So my grandmother died in the morning, and I was up all night, like all night long. And then I get an email from you basically like, congratulations.
Yeah,
We
I'm all
accepted
like,
your
hey,
book.
what's up? Like, totally no clue. Sorry.
And I'm like, do I be happy? Do I cry? Do I be sad? Like, what should I do? But I was really excited, but I was also really like, crap, like I really want to call my grandmother and tell her. So I called my little sister who was with my family at the time, and I'm like, guess what? And she's like, what? And I'm like, my book got accepted. And she's like, oh, she's like, we're going to the funeral home. I'll call you later. And I'm like, okay, bye. But my husband kind of made up for it. He's like, it's okay. He's like, I'm really proud of you, really, really proud of you. And so my first book, if anybody reads Cursed Legacy, you'll see that the dedication is specifically for my grandmother. So, but yeah, so I kind of consider that my biggest bittersweet day, and it also happens to be my dad's birthday. So it's like a super bittersweet day because, like, it's the day I celebrate my dad's birth. It's the day my grandmother passed away, but it's also the day that I got my dreams to come true of being an author. So to me, that kind of makes it worth it.
I never know who I am. I'm just trying to say congrats. Anyway, I'm sorry about your grandmother. I mean, I didn't know when, obviously, for a long time before you told me that story.
I think I told you guys at SAS.
Yeah, what a mixed emotion thing. Like here I am. Hey, you gonna get your contract back? Let's go. Hop, hop. What's taking you so long? Shelby is asking if there's music to block out the noise for the earbuds. She's basically wants to know what's going on in those earbuds. And somebody just one-clicked Cursed Legacy, and I'm imagining that Shelby too.
Yay! So sometimes there's music and sometimes there isn't. My earbuds are pretty noise canceling even if I don't have any music coming out of them. But normally it's always music. Like I always have Spotify up on my computer. Except for now, I had to close some things down so that way my computer doesn't lag on me. But I always have Spotify up and I always try to play something. But as long as my earbuds are in my ears, I think I'm pretty good. Like I walk around all day with them, but I watch a 1-year-old all day, and he pulls on my earrings. Yeah, he pulls on my earrings and my necklace. I'm not putting earbuds in my ears for him to pull on.
No. Plus, you probably should be able to hear the child you're caring for. Yeah, if you can help it, right? Well, yeah, maybe that's a bad idea. It's been a long time for you, Michelle. I forget that whole please don't cry, scream anymore feeling. I should know it well. I've still got a kid at home right now.
It's all day, every day. And he's teething, which makes it 1,000 times worse. So,
yep. That's rough.
It is.
God, that feels like a lifetime ago. All right, guys. If there's anything else you've got, Michelle?
I think I'm good. I appreciate you guys, you doing this. I'm a little less nervous. I can hear my dogs like walking around because I have the bedroom door shut. So my dogs are, well, I have my earbuds in.
Oh, of course you do. Okay.
But I can hear my dogs like walking around because I told my husband right before, I'm like, keep everybody quiet, keep Bear away from the door because his tail is really loud. My husband's like, okay.
We're pretty dog friendly. This whole time I've been having dogs crawl over my back. Like that's the whole time. Don't worry about that. And the connection's been great. So I think the earbuds may have actually helped you. So, So, all right, guys, we are going to sign out. Thank you to everyone that stopped by tonight.
Thank you.
It's always easier and nicer when we have actual people to answer questions from and interact with and all that. Michelle, thank you so much for being here tonight. I know you were nervous, which I don't get because you're so natural at this, but
Yeah, I try.
you did good. You did well. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon and have a great night. Bye, guys.
Good night, everybody.
It takes a second. We're going to still be live for a bit because, Aaron's